Look at your spice rack. Go ahead, look at it right now. Whether it's a wooden rack on your counter, a cabinet shelf, or a drawer full of little jars you've collected over the years. Because I want to tell you something that will completely change the way you see those ordinary containers. Sitting in that spice rack right now are compounds that nephrologists, kidney specialists, have been studying in clinical laboratories for decades. Compounds shown to reduce inflammation in kidney tissue, inhibit the scarring process that destroys kidney function, lower blood pressure through mechanisms similar to certain prescription medications, and protect the delicate filtering units inside the kidneys from oxidative damage. Most people reach for those jars just to make food taste better. They have no idea they're reaching past some of the most powerful kidney protective substances on Earth. My name is Dr. Lumiva. I've sat across from thousands of patients who felt like everything was out of their hands. Their creatinine was rising, their GFR was falling. Their doctor gave them a diagnosis and a list of things to avoid, but very little guidance on what to actively do, what to give their kidneys to fight back with. Today, I'm giving you that list, 5 spices, each one backed by published clinical research, each one with a specific biological mechanism through which it supports kidney function, and each one with a preparation secret that most people, including most doctors, have never heard, because the difference between using these spices correctly and incorrectly is the difference between genuine therapeutic benefit and simply flavoring your food. Stay with me through all 5. Spice number 4 is the one that surprises my patients most. Not because it's exotic or expensive, but because it's something almost everyone over 60 already has in their kitchen and has been using completely wrong. And at the end, I'll tell you about a spice people assume belongs on this list, but absolutely should not. One being heavily marketed for kidney health right now that the research doesn't support, and that may be doing more harm than good. That warning alone is worth staying for. First, 30 seconds of science that makes everything else make sense. The 2 engines that drive kidney disease forward, destroying nephron after nephron and pushing GFR downward year after year, are chronic inflammation and oxidative stress. Chronic inflammation in kidney tissue damages the glomerular membrane and the tubular cells, and over time triggers fibrosis, healthy filtering tissue replaced by scar tissue that cannot filter anything. Fibrosis is irreversible. Oxidative stress, the buildup of unstable molecules called free radicals, accelerates both inflammation and fibrosis. It damages mitochondria inside kidney cells and makes the kidneys more vulnerable to every other insult they face, from high blood pressure to elevated blood sugar. The 5 spices ahead each have a documented, published, mechanistically understood pathway through which they address one or both of these engines of decline. This isn't folk medicine, it's biochemistry, published in journals including the American Journal of Kidney Diseases, Renal Failure, the Journal of the American Society of Nephrology, and the Clinical Journal of the American Society of Nephrology. Let's begin. Spice number 1, turmeric. If you've heard of any spice tied to anti-inflammatory health, it's turmeric, thanks to curcumin, its primary bioactive compound, responsible for its deep golden color and most of its biological effects. Curcumin is one of the most studied natural compounds in biomedical research, and its relevance to kidney disease is specific. It's a potent inhibitor of NF-κB, the master switch of inflammatory signaling in the body. When NF-κB activates, it drives production of pro-inflammatory molecules like TNF-alpha, interleukin-6, and interleukin-1 beta, all elevated in chronic kidney disease and all contributing to nephron loss. Curcumin blocks that cascade at its source. A trial in the Journal of Renal Nutrition tested curcumin in stage 3 and 4 CKD patients and found significant reductions in CRP and MDA, a marker of oxidative stress compared to placebo, with improvements in kidney function markers over the study period. Curcumin also shows anti-fibrotic properties, inhibiting activation of TGF-beta, the molecular signal that drives kidney scarring. TGF-beta tells the kidneys to lay down scar tissue. Curcumin tells it to quiet down. Now, the preparation secret and one of the most important things I'll say in this video. On its own, curcumin has extremely poor bioavailability. The body absorbs very little of it. But piperine, the active compound in black pepper, changes that dramatically. A study in Planta Medica found combining curcumin with piperine increased bioavailability by 2,000%, not 20, 2,000. Without black pepper, you're getting a fraction of the potential benefit. The correct use. Every time you add turmeric to a dish, soup, curry, eggs, stir fry, warm water, add a pinch of freshly ground black pepper at the same time, plus a small amount of fat like olive or coconut oil, since curcumin is fat soluble. A quarter teaspoon of turmeric with a generous pinch of black pepper in your daily cooking is a realistic target. One caution. If you're on blood thinners like warfarin, discuss increased turmeric use with your doctor. And if you're prone to calcium oxalate kidney stones, use turmeric in culinary amounts, not supplement doses. It's relatively high in oxalates. Spice number 2, ginger. I want to tell you about a patient named Arthur, 64, a retired high school football coach from Tennessee, with a creatinine of 2.2 and both type 2 diabetes and hypertension, driving his kidney disease from 2 directions at once. Arthur wanted measurable evidence before changing how he cooked, so I showed him the evidence, and it's some of the most compelling in the natural compounds literature. A randomized controlled trial in renal failure tested ginger in patients with diabetic nephropathy and found significant improvements in serum creatinine, BUN, and urinary albumin versus control, along with reduced oxidative stress markers and increased antioxidant enzyme activity in kidney tissue. The researchers concluded ginger showed clear nephroprotective activity in diabetic kidney disease. The mechanism runs on multiple pathways. Ginger's active compounds, gingerols in fresh root, shogaols in dried, inhibit the same NFKB pathway as curcumin, while also activating NRF2, the body's master antioxidant defense system, upregulating glutathione, superoxide dismutase, and catalase. Ginger also lowers blood pressure. A meta-analysis in phytotherapy research found significant reductions in systolic and diastolic pressure, most pronounced above 3 grams daily for 8 or more weeks. The preparation secret: fresh ginger and dried ground ginger aren't interchangeable. Drying converts gingerols into shogaols, both bioactive but different profiles, and the nephroprotective research was done mostly with fresh root. So for kidney health, use fresh ginger, grated into hot water for tea or added fresh to stir fries, soups, and marinades. Keep a piece in your freezer. It grates beautifully frozen. Arthur used fresh ginger daily for 6 months alongside his medication and diet changes. His creatinine came down to 1.8. He set his labs on my desk and said, "All right, Kane, I'll give ginger its win-loss record." Spice number 3, cinnamon. The #1 cause of chronic kidney disease in America is diabetes. Diabetic nephropathy accounts for roughly 44% of new kidney failure cases. Cinnamon has a well-documented effect on blood sugar that makes it directly relevant here. Its primary active compound, methyl hydroxychalcone polymer, MHCP, mimics insulin, activating insulin receptors and enhancing glucose uptake into cells, while slowing carbohydrate breakdown after meals. A meta-analysis in the Journal of Medicinal Food found cinnamon supplementation significantly reduced fasting glucose, total cholesterol, and triglycerides. For patients whose kidney disease is diabetes-driven, better blood sugar control means less glycation damage to the filtration membrane, the very mechanism through which high blood sugar harms the kidneys. Animal studies in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry also found cinnamon extract reduced oxidative stress and inflammatory markers directly in diabetic kidney tissue. Here's the preparation secret. This one's about which cinnamon you buy. Most grocery store cinnamon is cassia, which contains meaningful levels of coumarin. At culinary amounts, that's fine, but at high supplemental doses, coumarin has been linked to liver and kidney toxicity in sensitive individuals. Ceylon cinnamon, true cinnamon, contains about 250 times less coumarin, and is what the positive clinical research was actually conducted with. Choose Ceylon. It costs slightly more, but is widely available. 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon daily, in oatmeal, tea, or yogurt, is a safe, evidence-supported amount. Before spices 4 and 5, and the warning I promised, a quick pause. If this video is giving you real, usable information, tap like right now. That signal helps YouTube show this to others managing kidney disease who've only ever been told what to take away, not what they can add. Subscribe and hit the bell, and tell me in the comments, which of these first 3 spices do you already cook with, and are you using them correctly? Spice number 4, garlic. I've placed garlic 4th deliberately, even though it may deserve to be first, because I wanted you to have enough context first. Garlic is the most extensively studied food-based cardiovascular and kidney protective compound in the literature, and its relevance to kidney disease is strong enough that it's been proposed in nephrology literature as an adjunctive strategy in CKD management. Its primary active compound, allicin, forms when alliin and the enzyme alliinase, stored separately in garlic cells, come into contact as the cell walls break during crushing or chopping. It doesn't exist in an intact clove. It's produced by damaging it. Allicin and its derivatives have 3 properties relevant to kidney patients. First, blood pressure reduction. A meta-analysis in the Journal of Nutrition found garlic lowered systolic pressure by 4 to 9 millimeters of mercury in hypertensive patients, which translates directly into slower kidney decline. Second, anti-fibrotic effects. Research in phytomedicine and the American Journal of Chinese Medicine shows S-allylcysteine, a stable allicin metabolite, inhibits myofibroblast activation, the process that produces kidney scar tissue. Blocking that means slowing fibrosis. Third, allicin reduces oxidative stress through the same NRF2 pathway as ginger. Now, the most important preparation instruction in this video. When you crush garlic, the allicin-forming reaction begins immediately, but heat it right away and the enzyme is destroyed before the reaction completes, and you lose most of the therapeutic benefit along with it. The correct technique, validated by food chemistry research from Cornell and others, crush or finely chop your garlic, then let it sit at room temperature, untouched, for 10 minutes. That allows allicin to fully form, and once it has, it's far more heat stable than the enzyme that made it, so you can cook it afterward without losing most of the benefit. 10 minutes. That's the difference between garlic as seasoning and garlic as medicine. 1 to 2 fresh cloves daily, never garlic salt, is the target. Spice number 5, coriander seed. The least known spice on this list, and included precisely for that reason. Coriander seed, the dried seed, not the fresh leaf, which is cilantro, contains linalool, terpenine, and flavonoids like quercetin and kaempferol, with documented relevance to kidney protection. A study in the Saudi Journal of Biological Sciences found coriander seed extract significantly reduced creatinine, BUN, and uric acid in an animal model of kidney toxicity, with reduced cellular damage on tissue examination. More notably, research in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology has documented coriander's ability to support excretion of heavy metals like lead and cadmium, a process called chelation, which matters given how widespread low-level environmental heavy metal exposure has become and how much of that burden the kidneys absorb as the body's primary filter. The preparation secret: grind coriander seed fresh. Pre-ground powder that's been sitting for months loses most of its volatile compounds. Grind whole seeds just before use in soups, roasted vegetables, marinades, and grains. A half to 1 teaspoon several times a week is a reasonable target. Now, the warning I promised. There's a spice being heavily promoted right now across social media and health product sites, specifically for kidney health. Parsley, specifically concentrated parsley seed extract, and high-dose supplements marketed as kidney cleansers and creatinine reducers. Parsley used normally in cooking is safe and genuinely beneficial, but concentrated supplements carry a risk the marketing never mentions. Parsley is high in oxalates, and at supplement doses, it can raise urinary oxalate enough to increase calcium oxalate crystal risk in the kidney tubules, the same mechanism behind spinach and beet juice causing problems in susceptible people. There are documented case reports of acute kidney injury linked to excessive parsley intake. It also contains apial and myristicin, which show nephrotoxic effects at high doses in animal research, not at culinary amounts, but well within range of the doses being sold online. The supplement industry doesn't have to prove safety before selling. Marketing something for kidney health doesn't mean it's safe for kidneys. Use fresh parsley in cooking freely. Skip it as a supplement. Let me close with something I tell every patient who sits across from me overwhelmed by a diagnosis and a growing list of restrictions. Most of kidney management is subtraction. Lower your sodium, limit your potassium, avoid this, stop that. Those restrictions matter, but subtraction alone leaves people feeling like passive victims, waiting for things to get worse. These 5 spices are additions: turmeric with black pepper, fresh ginger, Ceylon cinnamon, garlic with its 10-minute rest, freshly ground coriander, Active, evidence-backed contributions to your kidney's ability to defend themselves, resist fibrosis, and hold on to filtration capacity longer. You can't undo damage that's already happened, but you can change the rate at which further damage occurs, and that rate matters enormously. Slower progression means more years of independent kidney function, more years without dialysis, more years of the life you want. Your spice rack has been sitting there this whole time. Now you know what's in it. Save this video so you can come back to the preparation details, especially the 10-minute garlic rule and the black pepper rule for turmeric. Subscribe and turn on notifications. Next week, the 5 breakfast foods nephrologists specifically recommend against for anyone over 60 with kidney concerns. Not the obvious ones, the ones sitting on heart-healthy labels that your doctor probably hasn't mentioned. And right now, in the comments, which of these 5 do you already cook with? And are you going to change how you prepare them? Drop it below. I read every comment. The kidneys can't ask for help out loud, but you can act on their behalf. Starting tonight in your kitchen, with 5 small jars that have been waiting for you all along.